Hey, what's up, Divine Ones? It's Latoya, Okeia. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, I'm a life coach, I'm a minister, and I'm also a business mentor. I train and certify men and women to become life coaches so they can work from home, drop them 9-to-5s, and create an income while making an influence. So if that sounds like you or something you might be interested in, make sure you click that subscribe button below. If you have not done so already, baby, hit that notification bell while you at it so you can get notified every time I drop new content on the channel. Okay, so we're gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm finna start bringing different type of content to y'all because yes, I am a minister and yes, I do preach, but I'm also a life coach. As I stated, I'm also a business mentor for other life coaches. I work a lot with entrepreneurs and helping entrepreneurs build their businesses, build their brands. So I want to specifically talk to the entrepreneurs today. I want to give you 5 keys to success as an entrepreneur. And when I was coming up with this and as I was just thinking of this, I just literally sat down and asked myself, well, Toya, if you was, if you could go back and talk to you when you first started as an entrepreneur, knowing what you know now, what would you say to yourself? I'm giving y'all the keys. I'm giving y'all the tips. Now, these are not all the tips. These are not all the keys. This is just 5 of them, things that I saw to be, very, very important when I started out as an entrepreneur. Okay, so what is the first key to success as an entrepreneur? The first key is you got to know your why and you got to know your vision. Before you can get started up with any of this, before you can, set out on your journey to success as an entrepreneur, no matter what you do. Now, yes, like I said, I do train and certify life coaches, but this particular video is not just going to be for life coaches. This is for anybody in the entrepreneur space. The first thing I say that you got to do is you got to know why you're doing what you're doing. You got to get clear on what you want. So you got to, seek God for your purpose, seek God for your gift, seek God for that revelation of why you here and what you're able to do, what you're talented at, what you're passionate about. So you get with God during that personal time, that isolation time. I teach and preach about all of that here on the channel. So make sure y'all, if you're new here, go check out some of my videos, because I talk about finding your purpose, identifying your purpose, activating beast mode all the time, because you gotta know your why. You gotta know what you want. You got to get clear about what you want, because if you all broad and general about what you want, your results are not going to be clear. Like whatever you put out there, you're going to get that back. So if you putting out uncertainty, if you putting out doubt, if you putting out confusion, you're going to bring that back in. Whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. So you got to be clear from the beginning. If you want clear, concise results, you got to have a clear purpose. You got to have a clear revelation, a clear knowledge of who you are, what is it that you want, and why. As I said, know your why. Why do you want what you want? Because let me tell you something, when you start out on this path, on this journey to entrepreneurship, it's going to be a lot of times when you're going to be like, man, forget this. Didn't nobody tell me about this. They ain't tell me I was going to have to sacrifice like this. They ain't tell me I was going to have to go without like this. They ain't tell me about all this stuff. Because let me tell y'all, these people that's online and stuff, these people, y'all come across these ads and stuff while you scrolling social media. They try to sell you on this laptop lifestyle. They try to sell you on the fact that, you can quit your job and you can get your laptop and you can work from anywhere in the world. But let me tell you, it's a whole nother side to that a lot of them, some of them tell you about it, but a lot of them ain't telling you about it. So I'm telling you from the very beginning, you got to know your why, because in those moments and in them times where you be like, man, forget it and I'm done with this. See, your why is going to keep you going. It's going to keep you motivated when you want to throw in the towel, when you want to give up. Because I'm going to tell you, I had so many days. I still have those days where I'm like, man, forget this. Lord, it's too hard. We have that season that we go through just like Jesus went through in the Garden of Gethsemane. And he began to tell the Father, Lord, take this cup from me. Even Jesus got overwhelmed, y'all, with the things that he was dealing with and the pressure that was on him. So if the Son of God God's only begotten son got overwhelmed, what you think you're going to have to deal with and what you think you're going to have to come up against in your pursuit of greatness, in your pursuit of success. Okay. So you got to know that why, because see, it was Jesus knowing his why. Listen to me. It was Jesus knowing his why, and it was Jesus knowing his vision that got him back on track. When he got overwhelmed, when he wanted to give up, it was him remembering why he came, the purpose, knowing, seeing the vision, seeing the bigger picture. That's what kept him going when he wanted to give up. So before you can put your hand to this plow, before you can do anything with entrepreneurship or building your brand or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you got to get clear about why you're doing what you're doing. What is it that you want? Okay. You got to get clear on where are you going? What's the vision? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see your business in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years? Listen, don't leave none of this to chance. Don't go into this with that go with the flow mentality. Y'all know how we say, I'm just going with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to roll with it. No, you got to be intentional about this. Don't leave any of this to chance. Like, you got to be intentional about entrepreneurship. You got to be intentional about your pursuit of greatness. You got to be intentional about your pursuit of success. So that was the first key. Know your why and know your vision. Second key to success as an entrepreneur, you got to count up the cost. You got to count up the cost. What does that mean? Counting up the cost mean before you even put your hand to any of this, before you make a commitment and say, I'm going to go all the way with building my business, with building my brand, establishing my LLC, whatever it is that you setting out to do, you got to first count up the cost. You got to sit down and you got to have a whole meeting with yourself, and you got to look at the whole grand scheme of everything. You got to look at what all is this going to cost me, not just financially. Okay, because you got to count the cost financially, because there's a lot of finances, a lot of financial planning that goes into building a business, that goes into becoming a successful entrepreneur. So you got to look at what it's going to cost you financially. You also got to look at what it's going to cost you emotionally, because I can tell you right here, right now, you got to have a certain level of emotional intelligence when you're building a brand, when you're working to become a successful entrepreneur. It takes emotional intelligence. You can't let everything get to you. You got to build tough skin. You got to have tough skin. You know, it's going to be people that come in the comments. It's going to be people that come for you. It's going to be people that come up from your past. And you got to have a level of emotional intelligence to know how to push past that. So you got to count up the cost with that. As far as your mindset, as far as you changing your mindset, getting your mind on the right path, changing your belief system, every single area of life, physically. What is this going to cost you physically? What are you going to have to give up? So you got to get your mindset, get your body, get your whole everything ready for the sacrifice that it's going to take. And you got to be prepared. So with this key to success as an entrepreneur is you preparing yourself, is you bracing yourself for the impact, is you bracing yourself for the storms that are going to get ready to come in, because the enemy is going to fight against it. He's going to fight against your success. He's going to fight against your destiny, and you walking in your purpose and activating beast mode for God, for the kingdom of God. He ain't going to like that, baby. So you got to be prepared. Okay, you got to be just like any other, good soldier. Before they go out to battle, they prepared. You don't just go out to fight any kind of way. So sit down and look at every single thing that could possibly go wrong. And then after you've looked at every single obstacle that could present itself to you, you just then ask yourself, okay, what can I do to be better prepared for this obstacle? What can I do? And yes, there's going to be some things that are going to come up that you didn't plan for, that you didn't think about. But, you even got to make space for that too. Make space for the unexpected things as well. You got to count up the cost. So then when you get knee deep in it, when you get waist deep in this thing, it's like, I planned for this. I expected something like this to go down, and I'm ready. I'm prepared for it. And then still just praying and asking God to give you the strength, to give you the wisdom. Oh my goodness, that's so important. When you sit down, counting up the costs, and you praying, you talking to the Father. And I'm going to tell you, I know everybody's not a believer and everybody don't believe in God, but I'm going to tell you something, baby. I can only tell you what I know works. and kingdom works. Do you understand me? I would have never been able to build success as an entrepreneur if I had not entered into the kingdom of God. So I don't know no other way to tell you. If you're looking for another way, you're going to have to go to somebody else's channel, because I don't know no other way than to tell you that other than God's way. Okay? So count up the cost. Talk to the Father. Talk to God and ask him to give you the wisdom to build your brand. Ask him to give you the wisdom to build success as an entrepreneur, and he will do it, okay? The third key to success as an entrepreneur is a famous saying of mine. If you are a divine one, if you've been following me for a good little minute, you already know what I tell you, baby. I tell you to forget them folks. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. Forget them folks. And the reason why I say that, let me tell y'all, it's the perfect opportunity for me to break this down to y'all and let y'all know what does forget them folks exactly mean. What does that mean? That's not a negative statement. That does not mean, you know, that you have ill feelings or negative feelings towards somebody. That's not what forget them folks mean. Forget them folks means I am not going to let the opinions of other folks, the emotions, the words, the actions of other people. I'm not going to let anything that another person does stop me from my divine destiny. Forget them folks mean whatever you doing over there is your business. It's your business. I am focused on the lane that the Lord has called me to be in. I am so focused. This is what it means. I am so focused on what God has told me to do. I don't even see y'all. I don't even hear y'all. Folks forgotten. Like I am so focused on what God told me to do. I done forgot about y'all. It doesn't mean that I don't care about you. It doesn't mean that I ain't praying for you. I'm just focused on what God has called me to do. And let me tell you something. When you building success as an entrepreneur, it's going to require a oh my goodness, a high level. I can't even describe to you the level of focus that it takes. This is why so many people don't make it. This is why so many people drop out in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship. It is because they cannot stay focused. The easiest way for the enemy to get you off track with your goal is to give you another one. I forgot who it was that I heard say that, but that was so, that was just so next level for me to hear that, because it's so true. That's the way the enemy takes you off your goal. That's the way the enemy knocks you back down to ground zero. He give you a whole nother task. So now a family member or a friend or somebody that came along, and what they asking you to do may not be bad. It may not be bad at all. It may be a good thing, but you got to ask yourself, in me taking time out to do this, is this moving me closer to my vision? Is this moving me closer to what I said that I was going to do for myself, for my business, for my brand? Because I'm telling you, it takes a level of concentration. This is why I tell you, forget them folks, okay? Because you can't help nobody change nothing until you help yourself. You can't help nobody until you help yourself. So that's why you got to forget them folks. Because in you forgetting what they got going on and you focusing on what you doing and you stretching yourself to that next level of greatness, if they got any good in them, when they see you stretching, when they see you growing, when they see you becoming successful, it's going to push them. It's going to give them the courage to do what needs to be done in their life. But if they don't have it, then it's going to cause them to fall back. And oh well, you just got to forget them folks. And I'm telling you, if you always worried about the opinions of other people, what people say and what they think and what they doing, you is not going to be able to build success as an entrepreneur. You're going to have to forget them folks, and you're going to have to get in your purpose, and you're going to have to concentrate on what the Lord has called you to do. All right, so the next key to success, I would say this is so important. All of these are important, y'all, but this one is really, really important. Serve, okay? Serve, give value. Get up every day and ask yourself, how can I serve my audience today? How can I serve my following today? How can I serve the kingdom of God today? How can I take the gifts and the talents, the natural gifts, the natural talents that I have? What wisdom do I have through life lessons? What lessons has life taught me that I can serve and I can give away to my community every single day? What physical product, even if you have a business that does physical products, What physical products do I have that I can give, that I can serve to my community? What service do I have? You know, whether it's a digital or physical product, whatever. Even if it's just an encouraging word, even if it's just a prayer, even if it's just a live. I remember for a season, the first season of my business, the first season of me being a life coach and an entrepreneur, I would get up every single morning at 4:00 in the morning. Every weekday morning, I would get up at 4:00 in the morning and I would do a Facebook Live. And when I got on that live, I was not making anything. I was not charging anybody for anything. And I did that for 5 months. For a season of 5 months, I got up Monday through Friday, 4 a.m. every morning, and I would go live at 4:30 a.m. And I got up around that time because I'm a mother of 3 children. And my children are, right now, they are 6, 9, and 10. So the only time that I ain't have no family members to send them off to. Nobody was keeping them while I was building my business. It was me. It's me and them, and that's it. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to build my business, if I'm going to build success as an entrepreneur, I got to take advantage of the time that my children are asleep. So I would get up at 4:00 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, go live Monday through Friday on Facebook. And while I'm going live on Facebook, boom, I'm also putting that content over on YouTube. See, as an entrepreneur, you got to think. You gotta go the extra mile. You gotta be willing to go the extra mile. If you want to build success in your brand as an entrepreneur and you want to build a name for yourself and a name for your business, you gotta be willing to do what the others won't do. Okay, so, you know, there's certain things in your life that you could look at, certain circumstances in your life that you could look at, that a lot of people look at that to make them, it makes them feel bad, or it makes them feel beneath, or it makes them feel lower than other people. But you got to learn how to take those certain things about yourself and use that to activate the hunger in you. Use that to activate that beast mode on the inside of you. Because I could have took the fact that I had 3 children and said, you know, oh, I don't have a husband. I don't have a family member that lives close to me to be able to watch these kids. They small. They need me for everything. I just don't have time. I could have easily said that. But see, you got to be willing to go the extra mile. You got to be willing to do what other people won't do. And you got to serve. You got to serve. You got to serve. So I asked myself, what can I do to serve my community? What can I do to serve my audience? And at that time, when I first started out, I didn't have a whole bunch of clients, but in me coming, showing up consistently, I started building rapport with my audience. They started trusting me. They started seeing that I was disciplined. They started seeing that I was determined, and they started seeing that I believed in what I was talking about. And in them seeing that I believed in it, they started to believe in it. And so that's just the way it works. So you got to be willing to serve. Okay. This falls up under this key right here. I want to say this as well. Don't look for a profit in your business in the first 2 years. Building your business and building your brand, you know, like getting to that level of success as an entrepreneur, do not look for a profit in the first 2 years. Any profit, profit, any profit that you make within the first 2 years is a blessing. I don't care if it ain't but 50 cents. Thank God for that. Fall all out over the flow for that. Listen to me. Because that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Because you really ain't even supposed to be getting nothing. Them first 2 years, don't even look for anything. So when I tell you don't look for nothing, I mean, don't get your hopes up thinking that you finna live this laptop lifestyle if you have not sown the seeds for that. Don't get your thoughts up and your expectations up thinking that you finna be on a yacht with your laptop and you finna be, you know, wearing Christian Dior and Louis Vuitton and all this type of stuff, because it don't work like that. That is not realistic. That's not realistic. If you ain't put no deposit in the bank, how you gonna make a withdrawal? Okay, so you got to be willing to serve. We are paid, we are compensated in life based upon the level of service that we give. So me getting up every morning at 4:00, 4:30, going live, praying for people. Many times I was praying for people. I ain't even have what I was praying for God to give them, but it was the service. I'm praying for blessings for them, and I'm broke, busted, and disgusted. But it was the service. It was me forgetting about myself and asking myself, how can I be of service? This is a huge lesson that I see a lot of entrepreneurs dropping the ball with. They want the quick come up. They want the quick fix. They want the microwavable blessing, but that don't exist, baby. You got to be willing to serve. And you cannot say, oh, well, Toya, I've done this, I've done that, and I still ain't got nothing. I still don't see no progress, or I still don't see no results. Well, you just got to keep serving. You got to get lost in serving. This is why this go back to the first key when I told you, know your why. Know why you started. When you feel like you want to give up because you're not getting no success, remember why you started. Remember the vision. Remember what Jesus had to do. He had to remember the vision. He had to remember his why. And in him doing that, it motivated him to keep going and do what needed to be done. Okay. So also, too, I want to tell you with this, invest everything back into your business. During these first 2 years of a business are crucial. The first 2 years of you being an entrepreneur are crucial. It's been a while since I checked the statistics, so I have to go back and look at it again. But the last time I looked, it said something like 81 or 82% of life coaching businesses fail within the first 2 years. And I say my theory is the reason why they fail is because they missed a lot of these keys that I'm giving y'all right here on this video. They didn't count up the cost. They didn't know their why. They didn't know their vision. They just heard somebody say, oh, you can make some money doing this or doing that. You know, they heart went in it. They didn't have a heart of service. Let me tell you, being a life coach, you got to have a servant's heart. You got to have a heart to serve people. Because that's what you're doing. You're listening to people. You're motivating people. You're inspiring people. You're empowering people to set goals and reach those goals and obtain a better life for themselves. So it takes a level of service. It takes a level of sacrifice. It takes a level of dedication. So the first 2 years, this is building season. This is service season. This is not the season where you trying to buy that new bag and stun on somebody and let them know that you done made it, that you a 6-figure or 7-figure entrepreneur. You trying to present the image like that's what you are when you know that that's not truly who you are. So let's work on you actually becoming that person, and the fruit is going to show for itself. You don't have to try to hurry up and get the bag, or hurry up and get the car, or hurry up and get the house, or hurry up and get the lifestyle to try to stunt for somebody. God wants you to become that person internally first. And yeah, you're going to have to go through some time where that's not physically shown on the outside. But just because it ain't physically showed up yet don't mean you ain't got it, baby. The Bible says, though the vision is lingering, though it tarries, it says wait for it. Why? Because at the appointed time, it will surely come. Wait for it, because it will speak. Oh, I feel the power of God. I ain't trying to preach up here on this thing, baby, but I will. But let me tell y'all, wait for that thing. Don't you get in no hurry. The first 2 years, and it might take you longer than 2 years. Sometimes you might have to grind 3 or 4 years before you get that 1 year that take your business to the next level. You might have to grind 5 or 10 years before you get that 1 year that make you successful, that make you, get you, blow you up and get you to that level that you've been dreaming about, that you've been grinding for. But let me tell you something, that process is necessary. Y'all put that in the comments. Say the process is necessary. Don't you try to cheat yourself out the process. Don't you try to jump from level 1 to level 100, because you're going to end up getting knocked right back down to ground zero, because it's lessons that you need to learn on lesson 4, on step 5, on step 25. You see what I'm saying? It's lessons that you got to learn on them steps that people can't give you. You got to learn that on your own. I'm telling you. So serve. Do not look for a profit the first 2 years. Do not look for money the first 2 years. This is your season to sow. Okay. The last key, I've already gone over this, but I just wanted to make this a whole key by itself. But the last key to success as an entrepreneur is changing your mindset. Getting your mindset on the right track. You got to go in your mind. Listen, you got to feed your mind every single day. If you're an entrepreneur, especially if you have left your 9 to 5, okay, you have all of this time now. So you need to be feeding your mind constantly. There is no excuse. Listen to me. I don't want to hear no excuses. No. Ain't no excuses. Do you want this or you don't want this? Like, how bad do you want this? Because I need y'all to understand what you got to do if you really want this. While I'm washing my children's clothes, I got pods in my ear and I'm feeding my mind. I'm listening to a YouTube sermon. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to an audio book. I'm listening to a course. Okay, while I'm vacuuming, while I'm washing dishes, while I'm doing household stuff, while I'm in the car line picking my kids up from school, I'm listening to motivation. I'm feeding my mind constantly, because you got to change your mindset. When you start out on this path to entrepreneurship, you got to understand your mind and the way your mind works. There's a part of your mind, baby, that is like a huge memory bank. It take in everything from the time that you were in your mother's womb in the 3rd trimester all the way up until now. It never forgets anything. And there are things that were put into you as a young child. There were belief systems. There were ways of thinking and living that was put into you that you got to break down. You got to tear down them old walls. You got to tear down them old belief systems, because if not, it's going to hinder your success as an entrepreneur. If you do not deal with this, it's going to come back to bite you. Listen to me. I'm telling y'all the truth. You got to change your relationship with money. If you, like me, you grew up in a household where money was not plentiful, and you heard stuff like, we can't afford this, we can't buy this, what you think money grow on trees, you were less fortunate, then guess what? You have a negative relationship with money, and that's going to come back to bite you in your business. That's why many of your businesses are failing. That's why many of you can't get past a certain threshold in your finances. It is because of your subconscious beliefs about money. So you got to change your relationship with money. And I cannot stand these folks that be coming talk about, they always talk about money. It ain't all about money. Okay, well, you go tell the mortgage folks then, baby, that it ain't all about money. You go on up there and tell them light bill folks, it ain't all about money. Them folks don't want to hear that. They want their money. And so in order for you to be a successful ambassador for Christ, a successful entrepreneur, okay, then you got to change your relationship with money. You're going to have to fix this. So let's stop talking about, it ain't all about money. They always talking about money. No, let's fix this belief system. Let's fix this negative relationship that you have with money. Because what is the problem with money? Is it because you never had any? Is it because you don't know how to get it? You see what I'm saying? So you got to go in your mind and you got to change that. You got to tear down that belief system that says money is hard to get. You can literally tell yourself, the less I do, the more I make. You can tell yourself, the less I do, the more I make. And if you say that consistently, it's the repetition for me. Y'all put that in the comments. Say, it's the repetition for me. Repetition is the mother of skill. The more you say something, the more you hear something, the more you do something over and over and over, whether it's true or false, your mind is going to start to accept it as reality, and it's going to start moving you closer to that in the physical realm. So whatever you say, you're going to get. So y'all keep that in mind as an entrepreneur. If you tell yourself, the less I do, the more I make. If you tell yourself, I am a successful entrepreneur, I am wealthy, I am a millionaire, I am prosperous, I am divine. Now, you can't just jump straight to saying I'm a millionaire if you've been broke, busted, and disgusted all your life. You got to start with something that your mind can believe today. Okay. And you might have to say, I am so grateful. I am so happy that I'm now making $5,000 a month, or I am now earning $500 a week, or whatever your mind can believe today. Say that consistently. Say that repetitively every single day. And this all goes into you reprogramming your mind. You got to change your mindset, and you got to reprogram your mind, especially if you work the 9 to 5 all your life like I did. You got to shift. You got to reprogram your mind from that 9 to 5 mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, because being an entrepreneur is a whole nother mindset. You don't have somebody standing over you making sure that you're doing this, that you're doing that. You don't have somebody standing over your shoulder making sure that you're going through every single one of your emails, that you're responding to your clients, that you're getting online every day, that you're posting to your Instagram, that you're posting to your YouTube. There is nobody that's going to make sure that you do that, and they're not going to write you up if you don't do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to take you reprogramming your mind. It's going to take you shifting your mindset so you move from the prey to basically the predator. You got to move to that hunt mode. You got to move to the one that get up every day and start hunting and start moving and start posting and start grinding. And you don't have to wait for somebody to chase you. You don't have to wait for somebody to get on to you about what you're not doing, but you just wake up with the mindset to do it, and you do it. So that takes a reprogramming, that takes a shifting, that takes time, okay? So if you're currently on your job and you want to leave your 9-to-5 and become a successful entrepreneur, the best thing I can say to you right now is go ahead and start that process of reprogramming your mind, because I had to do that first. Go ahead and start that process of shifting your mindset. Go ahead and start that process of giving yourself, depending on your work schedule, you need to be listening to at least 30 minutes to an hour of motivation, of inspiration, of education every single day, okay? Because you got to start that process of reprogramming and changing your belief system so you can set yourself up for success as an entrepreneur. All right, so that was the 5 keys to success as an entrepreneur. Take these keys and apply them to your life. Apply them to your life today and take off, soar, activate beast mode. Be everything that the Lord has called you to be. Because if not now, then when? Okay? If not you, then who? Who gonna do it? Okay? So for many of you, you may be just like me. You may be the first one in your family to break, you may be the first one in your family to break that generational curse of poverty, to break that generational curse of lack, and you want to set a new level, like set a new bar in your family, in your bloodline. Well, take these keys and apply them to your life and do that today. And if you're interested in becoming a life coach entrepreneur, I do train and certify men and women both to become life coaches. Click the link below in the description of this video and sign up for my free life coaching 101 masterclass. If you've already taken the class, you ready to be certified, then go ahead and go to LatoyaOkeiaAcademy.com. The link for that is also below in the description, and you can take my life coach certification course. A life coach is a motivational friend, is a personal support system, an accountability partner, somebody that's going to work with you, help you set goals and hold you accountable, help you to achieve those goals. So if you're the go-to person in your circle, you the one that everybody come to for advice, you know, you ain't even going there for all that, but they be done snatched you up, baby, and start talking your ear off. You the person that they vent to. You the person that they stopping you in the grocery store. They stopping you in the dollar store. They stopping you in the mall. They stopping you at your cubicle. You just coming in there to go to work. You ain't even coming there for all that. But before you know it, baby, they done got you, and they done went to talking about this and talking about that. And people feel better after they talk to you. They feel more at ease. They feel more peaceful. You know, it's just natural, and they just love talking to you and just venting and talking about their issues and their concerns and just about life. Then you probably a life coach, okay? Now, the certification is not required. It's not required that you take the certification, but it is recommended. I would recommend that you take the certification because it shows that you're serious about your brand. It shows your clientele. It shows your following. It shows that you're serious about your brand and you're serious about your business, that you didn't just roll out of bed and say you was going to do something, but you've actually invested in yourself. You've taken the time to get the proper training to be excellent at what you do. And when people see that you invested in yourself and you serious about it, like I was saying earlier in the video, when my audience saw that I was serious about what I was talking about, yeah, they gonna laugh at you at first, but that's why I told you gotta have tough skin. Because once they see that you serious about this is not just a thing, but this is for real. Oh, she for real about this. Oh, she done put money behind this. Or, oh, he done put money behind this. Then they more likely to put money behind what you're doing. They're more likely to buy your products, buy your books, invest in your courses, book coaching sessions with you, or whatever it is that you do. They more likely to put the money behind you as well, okay? So I love y'all so much. I am Latoya Okeia, and I will check in with y'all later.